A lot of rain bands right now. I don't know how much wind we're going to get. It did upgrade to a hurricane in the Gulf. Good afternoon. Oh, Mark, welcome back to the farm. Cow's having a little snoozy time back there in the shade. But that's not what I have to address here today. I'm out here at the gate, coming onto the property, and I got a problem, because right now it's not working. It was working one day, the next day, not working. And so when I got inside, I opened up the box. I thought maybe the battery's dead, maybe it's not going to charge, what's going on? Nope, got a bigger problem inside the box. When you look at the setup there, you can think when you zoom in, look at that, boom, something blew out in the corner. Dropped its guts down here. Yep, gate stopped working. So I reached out to Alico, the company that manufactures this stuff, told them what happened. I sent them pictures, and they just said, we're really sorry about that. We put something new in the mail for you. Well, here it is. They sent me it's a new circuit board, no, a new motherboard for the system. So I need to replace the old motherboard with this one, and that should get the system up and running again. So that is what I'm going to do. So the way I'm going to do it is this. I got a lot of wires that I had to put in there. Oops, it's going to be awkward. A lot of wires that I ran in there for each of the gates, for the different openers, for running power into the system. And then there's just a couple others. There's the receiver antenna. There's some power lines. There's some stuff that runs up here if you're using AC versus a solar and a battery system. So the thing is that I can disconnect all these from this motherboard, no problem. And I can actually disconnect these lower wire units here, just unplug the entire thing off of the motherboard and just reuse those. So I don't have to do any rewiring. I should be able to pull those things out, unscrew and remove that motherboard because it's connected at the four corners. So 4 of those, I'll take those out, and then I should be able to just pull the motherboard off there, put the new one on, clip everything back into place, and I should be in business. Technically, theoretically, shouldn't take that long. I'll let you know. All right, I took pictures of everything beforehand, so. Starting to rain, starting to rain, starting to wish I'd put up the tent. All right, let's go. Let's go. Yep, power on, smoke test. Got my little flashing light, that's a good thing. That's good. Now all I should have to do is just program the remotes, and then I should be back up and running. All right, got it to close, but for some reason it's all wonky now in the sort of the final phase here. So I got to figure out if some of the hardware has slipped a little bit. There's like a little stop wire in here, and that might have slid out of position, in which case I need to adjust that to get the gate to stop at the right time. Where the cat hair are you going? All right, let's adjust it again. Started raining. Hey, I got a roof. All right, real quick during a pause-ish. I'm still having trouble getting the gate to stop when it reaches the proper extension point. It keeps going until it reaches full extension on the hydraulic, and then it bounces back like it's hit something and leaves the gate partially open. It seems like there might be an issue with the stop controller on the motor itself. I'll have to look into that. I'll see if there's some stuff online or something I can look at to figure that out. So we got a little bit of a hurricane coming our way. Well, it's not a hurricane. It's like a big storm. It's maybe like almost tropical stormy. I don't know. They just say it's going to be a lot of rain, a lot of wind, but we're getting into the season. Oh, and by the way, it's named Debbie. If you know, you know. So, means I'm going to put the generator out. The generator for the small house is on the porch. It goes on the porch there, so it's covered, it's protected from the elements. The bigger generator for the main house is not so much. And one of the things I've been meaning to do is to build an enclosure for it so I can keep it out during the storm, something that's anchored down, and that in the event that I need the generator, I can step out, start it, go inside, throw the necessary switches, and we have the power that we need at the time. That's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to try and build that. It's not going to be fancy, but hopefully it just does the job, and that's all I needed to do. The ground is not level, so I may have to move it around a little bit till I find like the best spot, maybe over in this area. But I'll take the generator and push it in here. It'll exhaust out this side, which is why this cross member starts 14 inches above the ground, because that gives about 5 or 6 inches from where the exhaust comes out, so it can cleanly vent out the back side. And then this side, I put it down low so that I can access the controls and the outlet. Looking at that now, that seems awfully exposed to me, but we'll see when I get the thing in there. And then the other thing I did with it was made it so this part lifts up. So I just kind of made a basic hinge back there so that I can refuel it without having to drag it out. All right, I think that's where I'm going to put it. That ground is a little more level, still not great. Hopefully it's flat enough that the generator will run. I'd say hopefully, because I already did all this stuff. So you can see I've got the cap just pinned down with a couple of bolts that are in there. It's just, they're actually lag screws, so they kind of bite a little bit, but you can pull them out, or I can. And then I didn't want the whole thing to get sucked away in a high wind, because that could be an issue. So to keep the whole thing from getting sucked away in high wind, I put in ground anchors. I just happen to have these. They're left over from, well, another farm operation. These were used to just help anchor poles on a vineyard hold the posts so that the weight of the vines wouldn't capsize the whole trellis. Anyway, I put one down here in this corner and one down here at this corner. As you can see, one right there. Then I ran a bolt through it with a washer over the end of it. And I did the same back here, just on a diagonal. I mean, the reality of it is that the structural integrity of this thing is pretty tragic, really. It's really just there to, at the times when we have a lot of rain, to keep that off of the generator and allow me access to the essential parts. And hopefully that's going to do the job. We're going to find out, because the storm is coming, and we may or may not lose power. When we do lose power, and it happens, because we get a lot of thunderstorms in this part of Florida, in central Florida, I tend to wait. We'll take a look and see what the prognosis is from the electric company, because they posted on the app. We have an app with them, and so they posted on the app. And you know, if they're going to be back up in 2 hours, 3 hours, and it's not you know, nothing's crisis, and we just wait it out. We don't need to fire up the generators for that. But if it's a condition where things are pretty bad all throughout the state or just through the region, and it's going to take them a day or two, yeah, we're going to get the generators going. And so I just want to be able to do that. The last time we had a hurricane come through, or last time we had a big storm come through, I could not get the generator started. I didn't ops check it the day before. Bad on me. I'll take the hit on that one, but who else is gonna, right? And so I ended up moving the smaller generator over here, which couldn't carry the full load of the house. And then we had to swap it back and forth with the other house because the well is on the other power pump, the other power line for that house. So yeah, that sucked. So I don't want to do that again. So we're gonna hope this does the job. Now it's kind of a pill. I gotta walk that thing out here. It's heavy, it bites my shins and my toes. So that's gonna take me a while. I don't like doing it, but let's get it done. All right, there it is. Hopefully final placement. You can see that cross member there is well above the exhaust. So hot exhaust will come straight out. It may be that that wood does get too hot. So when I start it up and I'm running it, I'm gonna check it regularly. And if it is, boom, just real quick, I can remove that. So as I come around and I can get at everything here. And see, the plug fits in, there's no impact to operations. I can reach all of the switches. The only thing that'd be a catch is if I have to manually start it with the pull, but that's over here on the side, so I can get at that. It'll be awkward, but I can make it work. And if you're looking at that and you're saying, my dude, you need to just take a minute, don't plug it in, because you do not start your generator with a load on the generator. And you are absolutely right. But inside the house, when I installed this, I put a breaker panel in the house. And so right now there is no load on this. I could start this all day long. There is no load on it. It is not until I'm in the house and I cycle from line power to generator power. And that goes from line to off to gen. And it is each individual circuit that gets put on, that gets loaded onto the generator, one circuit at a time. As I build that out. So I'm pretty confident in it. I mean, I did a lot with a smaller generator that carried enough so that we had connectivity, and I was pretty pleased about that. By the way, when I said connectivity, I meant Wi-Fi signal, because remember, here at the house, there it is. We have Starlink because there's no cable out here. So we have the Starlink system. So as long as I get power going to that outlet in the house, Starlink powers up, and then I have satellite internet. And so I've got Wi-Fi. If I just get that one outlet going, and that just gives me access to the world, so I can get the weather, I can get all that stuff. Plus, when it comes to some of those things, I mean, there is, you know, cell phone signal. Sometimes it's not great. Sometimes it's really good. I imagine in a storm when power goes out, it's going to be really bad because everybody's going to be wanting it. All right, let's go give the steers their evening treat. Storm's kind of here. We got the early stages of it. It's really just a lot of rain bands right now. I don't know how much wind we're going to get. It did upgrade to a hurricane in the Gulf, but for now, I mean, the wind is not really a thing, and the rain, it's just a lot of rain. It just keeps going. It's a lot of deadfall brush, so I'll end up having to do some cleanup, but pole barn's holding up. A few things blown over, but everything's looking all right for now. So we'll check it again in the morning. We did lose power today for a couple hours, but who knows what that was really. Probably more likely somebody crashed their car into something that we needed for power. I don't think it was necessarily storm related, at least not specifically. So, we'll check again in the morning. Animals are good, putting everybody to bed. Well, the rain's mostly stopped. The wind is still going, which is nice because it's sort of blow drying everybody. Cows are pretty happy. They're just chewing their cud now and having a rest. But got 2 generators going. The house is all right. We're looking to have power back on. So it went out at 4 o'clock this morning, and it should be back by about 4 o'clock this evening, they say. They usually beat the estimate, but I got both generators going. So we've got the well is running, the fridges and freezers are keeping stuff cool. We've got power in the house. So we've got the Starlink, so we're in touch with the world, and refrigerators on, microwaves running, so all good things. So we're pretty comfortable here. We're in good shape. So I guess it pays to prep a little bit. All right. Well, eventually we'll have some cleanup to do, just to pick up some debris that's come down, but it's not too bad, honestly. There's a couple of big limbs, but whatever. Hope everybody else up in the Big Bend of Florida there is doing all right. And I think South Carolina is looking to get it worse because it's going to kind of go out over them and come back in, and they're going to get a little bit of both. So keep them in your prayers, everybody. And but I think that's going to do it from here. Talk to you guys later.